Right, so we're cooking now these onions and garlic and ginger mix, and this is perfect. When you look into the pan and see this, you should be extremely happy. You could do a little jig around the kitchen, although I wouldn't, because you need to just keep a good eye on what's going on. This is so soft, it's so caramelised, and it's the beginning of a great dish. Many dishes start with this, so get this right and you're on the way to having a great flavour in your dishes. It's just on low. We're going to put some lentils in the dish, and here they are. Very simple, very cheap, very humble. It's a humble dish. So just to prepare the little lentils, we need to give them a water bath. We need to jiggle them around, and we need them to just sit there for a little bit. You don't need a spoon, just jiggle. That's now preparing itself. We have a classic combination of cumin and coriander. We're going to have a spoon of each. So there we go, that's the coriander gone in. This spoon doesn't fit in here, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we can just tip this out and it isn't going very well. But we've got it there, so we're just going to do that, and then we've got this nice wide, well, this is a catering size, isn't it? So we're doing that. Now, I just want you to be aware that if you're expecting to mix things well, and you should be, you need to mix your spices separately first. You've mixed your 3 ingredients here, and I have found, experience has shown me, that pre-mixing dry and pre-mixing what becomes wet and then mixing those things together is secret to good mixing. So here we go, these are going in now. The sound immediately changes in the pan. The smell is lush. I smell the turmeric first, actually. So I'm just covering, coating, mixing really well all the ingredients together. Now then, sometimes when you put spices in, it just looks a little dry and a little thirsty, and we're activating the spices with the heat. So we can just pop, however much you need, a little bit of water in to make this mixing process a little bit easier. Don't worry about it watering down the flavour. Heathen vegan dishes are never short on flavour. It facilitates mixing. So the aromas are coming through of the cumin and the coriander. This is the most important part of the dish. Well, this is the dish with lentils. So that's now finished and right. We're going to just put in some black pepper as well. Let's just mix him in before we forget. I'm very happy with that. I think that looks really good. So the lentils are going in. I'm just going to pour off this water. Cloudy, cloudy. Now you can see I'm not using a sieve and I'm not using a spoon, and it's all about less washing up at the end of the day. So here we go. You don't need to get all of that water out of there. We're just going to put these in here. So I've just got rid of some of that starch from the lentils. The turmeric is obviously on the side of this container now, and because you're obviously a thoughtful person, you'll be wondering, well, is that wrecking that container? No, that container will wash off quite well. It's a cheap container from Asda, and I have probably about 50 of them, and they're very useful. So I'm now mixing the onion and spicy mix in with these lovely orangey red lentils. And I don't know whether you've cooked red lentils before, but when I first started cooking red lentils, I overcooked them, and then they went yellow, and then they were like this mush. And no, we're not doing that. We don't want that. And the reason we don't want that is because there's no texture. It becomes like this solid thing in your mouth. The palate just gets coated with this starch. And no, Heathen Vegan doesn't have coated pallets full of starch. So we're just going to put a bit of water in now, because obviously the lentils are dry and thirsty and need some water. So I've covered the lentils. Just scrape down the sides, keep everything clean and calm. And once you've got everything nicely mixed, that completes this side of the dish, and we're basically nearly done.